Hello everyone, welcome to our writers' meeting, our third weekly writers' meeting with Dr. Laitman. Hello everyone. So we would like to ask more and more questions around this topic issue concerning connecting humanity now. The coronavirus, it's clear to everyone it's not coming to a close. There's another wave and another. This morning it was reported that almost 40,000 new carriers have contracted the virus in the United States. So the phenomena keeps growing. But let's talk less about the coronavirus. We're writing and talking about it every day. Let's talk about the phenomena following it. One of them is anxiety amongst the elderly and the young. Shelley, yes, so anxiety is something, it's very common. It starts from children, youth, and spreads through everyone, including the elderly and everyone. So this is panic about, well, the thought of losing someone close, the thought of dying, economic problems, many layers of anxiety, and this causes a person to be unable to act normally in his day-to-day. The panic shuts him down, stops him from functioning properly, and they don't have to necessarily be rational thoughts. It can be irrational things. And we see that this is happening in Israel as well. 125 cases of suicide were reported in a period of which is 5% more than it was. There's a spike in people taking antidepressants, etc., in the United States, especially among the younger people. So we'd like to hear from you. Where does the anxiety stem from? Dr. Laitman, the anxiety comes usually from the unknown. That's the most common. And it's the scariest also, because you don't know where it's going to come from, what's coming, who's behind the corner, what to expect. It puts you in a state where a person feels that he's locked down. He doesn't know where to move, in what direction, what can help me, what to fear, and so on. Meaning such lack of confidence truly brings about helplessness, kind of stop. Also, according to the wisdom of Kabbalah, and I think according to studies, we give it to each other, and this is also like a virus. It's like a virus as well. Why? Where do we get it from? It's because we are, all of us, connected to the system of Adam HaRishon, one soul. And what one has certainly spreads, reaches and touches another and a third person, men, women, children, even animals, even plants. Even those great these great planets and stars in the universe, we activate the whole system, because the human being is the highest degree. And if we're not right, not proper, we influence everything. There's studies already showing how we bring about, or we influence the arrival of tsunamis, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions. And so there is anxiety about the fact that we may give each other the virus, and here we need to find a solution. And there's only one solution. Let's start hugging each other, embracing each other. to give each other warmth, physically, mentally, like a mother embracing her baby. She holds the baby and he calms down. The main thing for him then is that he feels her. He can close his eyes and just feel her. And each one of us needs that. And it can be a 40, 50-year-old person, 200 kilograms, some monster of a person. It doesn't matter. We can see that these kinds of men have the greatest inner stress, inner anxiety, while women suffer from this much less than men do. So there is a problem here. We need to know how to provide this antivirus against the virus of anxiety, insecurity, helplessness to everyone. And today it's not so bad yet. Tomorrow it will be much worse, the day after much worse, and it will develop more and more because it comes with problem making money, problems with what to do with the children, etc., etc. The lack of normal functioning as we're used to, what we're used to over generations even, it will harm everything. And we have to understand it. It's impossible to be ready for it. There is no cure, but only like a mother with the child, with the baby, an embrace, a warm embrace, so that each one of us wants. We don't need to physically do it, but each one of us should want to give the others a warm embrace. And then against this virus of anxiety that we give to each other, it's in the air, it's in the air. Instead of that, we can inspire mutual confidence in each other. That's all. Shelley, so what I understand is that anxiety closed on us, especially in states of uncertainty, when I'm not sure what's going to happen with me. And the cure is warmth and confidence. And we also pass it on to others. How do we pass anxiety on to others? Dr. Laitman, we are together in one system called duty, the soul of Adam HaRishon. Dr. Laitman, you hear? Write it down. Write it down 200 times.
No.
So? Duty. Just a second, Shelley. What is the laws governing this system of Adam HaRishon? I have anxiety, he doesn't, or what? Dr. Laitman, we are all together in one system, we're tied together. We came out of our father and mother, let's say Adam and Eve, and we belong to one single spiritual root, and so we have no alternative here. Through this spiritual root, we are bound together, and it doesn't matter who you are, what you are, red, black, white, yellow, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, young or old, it doesn't matter. We all give this virus to each other, and all of our emotions we give off to each other. Call it the butterfly effect, it doesn't matter what you call it really. Duty. Okay, but this virus of anxiety, how exactly does it spread? Why does one have anxiety and another is immune to that, not excited by anything, not harmed by anything? Dr. Laitman, why don't you ask the same thing about the coronavirus itself? Each one has a sensitivity to different things. We are all full of all sorts of viruses. All of us. You know what a human being is? It's a sack of viruses. That's the human being. That's nothing more. But each and every one somehow gets along with them and continues. So those do this, these do that. Judy, if we're in one system, so what does it mean to contract the virus? I already have the virus. I already have all the problems. Dr. Laitman, yes, but each one still has his own particular level of sensitivity. Judy, so I contract the virus from someone, or does it awaken within me from the system, systematically? Dr. Laitman, I don't really want to go into that. Of course, truly, you're catching the virus off of yourself, not anyone else. But if we start trying to explain this, it'll never end. We won't get out of it. Shelley, so a person can express himself. Psychology ties a person's levels of anxiety to his ability to communicate. Is there a connection, really? Dr. Laitman, look, you can find connections between everything, because it's all within the person, within one person. But still, a person can be sensitive to this virus or that virus, this kind of excitement or this kind of excitement. There are people who are completely oblivious to all these anxieties. They have very strong nerves and nothing bothers them. Let's say like Gilad and Avir. And there are those like myself and who else? Valerina, let's say, where we are anxious like bunnies. You have all sorts. It's like in one body where you have all sorts of body parts which have different roles. Shelley, so this anxiety, if we look at it as such a strong, paralyzing phenomenon, it's formless. It's only in thought. What's the message it comes to convey? Dr. Laitman, no, it's not only on the level of thought. This anxiety is a basic malfunction within the person. It's a lack of confidence, it's a feeling of uncertainty. It's the fact that he's not receiving the light of confidence. It's not there. The person doesn't have it. You know what confidence is? It's a lack of faith. It's a lack of connection with the divine. Shelley, so what's the message it comes to bring to society? Dr. Laitman, it will develop in the future. You wait a few months, even a year or two. Humanity will come to know that it is here on this planet with no one to rely on but our Father in the heavens. Shelley, so the coronavirus told us, keep your distance, start treating each other well, but the anxiety now requires an embrace. I need my environment or I can't defeat it. Dr. Laitman, yes. Shelley, so what do we need to do from this? Dr. Laitman, we need to do everything, both of these things, both to distance ourselves from one another and to come close to each other. To the extent that we provide each other with confidence, positive emotions, we need to come close. And to the extent that we have a lack of connection and all sorts of claims to each other and no confidence in each other, we need to keep our distance. I need to protect the others, not to give them any negative viruses, but only positive viruses. Shelley, and this is through my will, right? I want to make the person feel confident and warm. That's how I act upon him? Dr. Laitman, yes. Shelley, there's a sentence saying that concerning one's heart distracts him. So let's say I have no one to go to for an embrace. I'm just suffering. So what can I do? Dr. Laitman, find someone to adhere to. Find someone to embrace. Not necessarily those who are strong, But those who need an embrace and confidence, just like you, and even though you need it as well, you need to start embracing them as though you are confident yourself, and you will see how much this helps you and them. Shelley, so if a person is in anxiety, he has no one to embrace him, he should look for someone to give confidence to, and this will heal him? Dr. Laitman, exactly. You understand the patent here? Judy, can you explain the principle behind this? Dr. Laitman, sir, according to the wisdom of Kabbalah, we learn there's the upper one, the lower one, and the one above the upper one. When you look for someone to give security to, confidence, then you become a conduit from the Creator towards Him. Duty, and this applies to all levels of nature. If I have some anxiety, then this will immediately change me? Dr. Laitman, yes, completely. Duty, another question. You said that we need the light of confidence. What is the light of confidence? Dr. Laitman, the light of confidence is chasadim, faith. Duty, what is faith? How to explain faith? Dr. Laitman, faith means that I don't need anything for myself. I don't need anything. Nothing. Just, I got nothing and I don't need anything. Duty, but I feel that I need things. I feel needful. Dr. Laitman, of course, this is a light that comes from above, the will to receive, but of course I also get another light called confidence, and so it doesn't matter what happens. Shelley, you talked about how the human being lost contact with the upper force. Perhaps I don't understand exactly. So who turned, did the human being turn his back on the upper force, or the other way around? Dr. Laitman, when? Shelley, humanity has come to a state where they have no God, so to speak. There's no upper force, there's no one taking care of us. So what happened here? Did the human being, did the people reject the upper force, or is it the other way around? Dr. Laitman, of course it was God. It was God. The Creator is at fault for everything. I'm telling you seriously. He invokes all these problems that we will know that we have to overcome and we cannot, so we can turn to Him. Like little children crying, we come to Him, and then He helps. Shelley, and that's what He wants, for a person to cry to Him all day, and then He will help. Dr. Laitman, yes. So, what's the problem? Everyone should do that. Otherwise, we don't need Him. Shelley, how does a person build up his own conscious, strong, independent self so as not to be just constantly begging to the Creator like that from below? Dr. Laitman, if he wants to help others, then he is independent. He can become independent. Sivan, so a person experiencing anxiety right now, first of all, looks for a way to calm down, to quiet all these symptoms, the accelerated heartbeat, etc. But you're talking about a light that will give him confidence here. So let's say a person reaches such a warm, loving environment. What does he receive there? How does this enter into the anxiety, thus calming him down? Dr. Laitman, a person who enters a warm environment receives a feeling of confidence. This is also a type of light. Everything is just light and desire, the will and the light. There's nothing else in reality. I feel that we had something close to that in the last large Congress, in all the Congresses, where a person enters a Congress, we can be confident and secure. So what exactly is happening here? Because if that's where we're headed, then what's the process that a person goes through? Dr. Laitman, the light of confidence, because I dwell within my people. And because many people connected, to ultimately have one direction, one desire, one goal. The Creator therefore dwells amongst them. Yes, there was a great light there. It depends on the extent to which each one felt it. Yes. Shelley, if I'm the mother of a girl who's experiencing anxiety, what do you recommend for me to do? Dr. Laitman, look, I don't know. A child or a young woman, what? Shelley, a young woman? Dr. Laitman, I don't know what to say. A young woman needs a young man. Seriously. All sorts of things that can pull her out of her closeness and anxiety. The younger girl needs her mother. Usually, what can we do? I suggest to have a plan, meaning, or a program, a show, well, a series, where we take care of anxiety, we talk about anxiety. Because in a few months' time, this will be a thing that's affecting everyone, each and every one. People won't know what to do. You will feel that in the streets, outside, everywhere, that people are just shouting out to the heavens.
ובתוכנית כזאת, מי צריך להוביל אותה? פסיכולוג ומקובל לצורך העניין?
Shelley, and who needs to lead such a program? A psychologist and a Kabbalist, let's say? Dr. Laitman, what can a psychologist do? He doesn't understand what's going on. He uses all kinds of patterns. Norma.
Yes,
this is in the same context. You told Shelley that if there's anxiety, if there's a depression, you need to find someone to embrace. Dr. Laitman, yes, I'm not joking. We see that this is the most natural response for children, for example. So the question is how to embrace virtually. Dr. Laitman, I think that this is possible. You can have such virtual shows, virtual programs where people feel that we are embracing them. They'll even feel it physically. They will feel it as warmth. It really is possible. It's possible. How? It all depends on the desire. And if there's someone hugging you physically, you'll feel it more. No, it's also a kind of inner impression. It all depends on the art of it, or the directness of the heart, and the extent to which you succeed in finding words. You're looking to touch a person in his most sensitive place, and you should feel that you're touching him with your heart. What does it mean with the heart? With all your warmth. Rudy, excuse me for a second, Norma. Let's say that we're sitting here right now in the Zoom meeting. We're all stricken by anxiety. So, opening our hearts. What do we do in order to emerge from the anxiety? How do I embrace someone here? Dr. Laitman, you are now here. You're 11 people, right? Right. So let's sing something together. Let's start with a song. All right. What would you recommend to sing? I thought you'd say that. Shelley? Love is the only cure. That's the song's name. Yes, Gilad? There's nothing greater in our lives than the Vagadol Shebechayenu. Dr. Laitman, yes, it's better than the others. Larina?
No, כרגיל שותקת.
Well, as usual, she remains silent. Norma? There's none other besides him, and Milvado? Dr. Laitman, oh, you're so dry, all of you. I'm in anxiety. Why? No, but it's actually true. It's true. Chaim?
Marsh, Baal Sulam.
Marsh. Oh, זה...
Baal Sulam's march. Dr. Laitman, yes, this indeed shatters the anxiety. Oleg? Dr. Laitman, something from Moti Moore. He has many, many songs. Dr. Laitman, right? The last lady there? The valse. Baal Sulam's valse.
No, בסדר.
All right. Well, what can I tell all of you? Judy, okay, wait. So we sang the song. Now we're out of the anxiety? Dr. Laitman, you mentioned 8 songs there. You need to find such which connect you to the Creator most especially. And I think the best among them is, well, Psalms, because they connect you directly to the source, to the Malchut, because it's King David. And indeed, you should try to do that. I'm confident that, well, we need to carry out exercises. Open your television, your radios, I don't know, on our channel on the internet. Look at our people. Right, see how to sing. Any other questions on this topic? Gilad, just technically speaking, when singing over the Zoom, we can't hear each other. The best is what we do on the Galaxy platform. You hear a recording of everyone singing together, and then you sing along. Dr. Laitman, okay, great. I don't understand how these things work exactly. I'm not an expert. Students in advance. Norma. Okay, so our whole world has become virtual. We are connected to the whole world. So indeed, in order to convey this emotion, this feeling you talk about, you say this is an art. I want to understand, what does this art involve? Dr. Laitman, to develop feeling for everyone, to awaken these feelings in everyone, to show everyone that only by embracing each other can we be kept from all the troubles, and that our mother and father, that's the upper force. If we connect together and turn to Him, it's certain that we will immediately feel that we are within Him. And then no harm can come to us. No harm. That's it. We need to write about it. We need to sing songs. Just open a channel like that, and you'll see how in a few months you'll have it full of people. Because humanity is facing great anxiety, really, a blow of anxiety. I heard there are many suicides compared to previous years, yes? Yes, they don't want to report as much, but yes. Okay, Dudi, another question. So what's the difference between what we're talking about, singing psalms, reading psalms, or singing songs, and what's the difference between that and the confidence that religion gives, for example? Dr. Laitman, religion gives you confidence, yes. It also gradually gives a person order in his life. Prayers, all sorts. songs and customs. This is a very special kind of medicine. No, religion doesn't have a shortage of problems, but regardless, it takes care of many problems that might befall a person. Really. So when anxiety strikes a person, as you say, why should they open our channel, which offers psalms and songs, or not another channel? Really, it's because, Dr. Laitman, it's because you guys take care of the anxiety. You talk about it and you speak to the point. What we said 2 months ago, everyone are saying that now, right? More or less. So what we talk about now, in a month or three, everyone will be talking about as well. Shelley, so we have something that can help us focus our explanations, focus our messaging. So you say that a young woman needs a man. So there are cases where married women still have anxiety. So, Dr. Laitman, no, it's not. It's not like that. It's not that we're little children, right? It's not. But it helps. It's clear that it helps. Sherry, look, I just want to understand the principle. When a woman has a good husband, a good family, does it mean that their connections lack warmth? Does it mean that she doesn't feel that she's truly being seen? Or Dr. Laitman, yes, she feels lacking something, right? Lacking something. It's clear. Shelley, thank you. Dudi, okay, we'll move to our second topic. Sivan, please. Sivan, yes, first of all, thank you for the scrutiny. Thus far, I hope that we can truly apply it. So we're switching to the subject of the education system. In a few days, the school year is ending officially. It was a very bizarre year. So what to do, how to use the time until the next school year to prepare for next year? Dr. Laitman, the school system has to prepare itself for a virtual school year, virtual, because you'll have such problems, such jumps, such changes, which will ultimately drive us to switch completely to virtual education. So a teacher, an educator, people who see from a distance need not think about how to start the year regularly and everything will be fine, but rather to think of a plan that will be an alternative to everything thus far. Shelley, so what are the implications that the children don't have physical contact then? So we as adults perhaps can manage, but what about children? Dr. Laitman, children can get along better than the adults. They understand that they live in this way. No problem. Children get used to things easily. And they'll manage. Shelley. So they can get used to it, but on occasion they need physical contact, right? So, Dr. Laitman, what with other children? Sivan, yes, of course. Yes, Dr. Laitman, yes, of course, but it doesn't need to be classrooms full of 30 children, 25. Not necessarily this school, which is like, a prison. Rather, it needs to be much more friendly. And first, they have to be taught how to be properly connected together. Children are capable of absorbing everything. If from a young age, year zero, you teach them that you need to behave with others in a certain manner, they will behave in that manner, and there won't be any problem. Sivan, and in such a virtual meeting, how can a child receive this connection, the substitute for a physical connection? What can be there what can there be in a virtual meeting where he can feel that as a substitute? Dr. Laitman, I think a child should have every few days half a day at school or some social circle, and for the rest of the time he'll study at home or somewhere very close to home, not in a way where he's taken by a car somewhere at 7 a.m. and thrown somewhere, spending the whole day there. Sivan, okay, so we got questions about summer vacation. If anyone has anything to add, you can. Dudi, I have a question about the transition to the virtual space. It's as though the physical space is like done, and we're over with that. We're just moving completely to virtual space. Dr. Laitman, yes. Dudi, when do you see humanity coming to connect physically in a good way? Dr. Laitman, I don't think that's happening. I don't think that we're advancing to a state where this world is going to disappear from our perceptions completely. No physicality at all. Why do I need this body? Why do I need all these things? I'm going to connect internally to people in such a way where only that remains in my feelings. And everything else was imagination, the imaginary world. Dudi. And shouldn't we return? Where do you see us? Dr. Laitman, why should we return? Dudi, humanity has this second nature by now. We're used to living this way. Dr. Laitman, of course we're used to it. We've been living this way for millions of years. Dudi, and suddenly stay at home, talk through the Zoom platform or whatever. Dr. Laitman, no, this is a short period. After that, this world rises to the upper world, the degree of the upper world. Dudi, that's not clear. What do you see the next step being? Right now we're at home, all of us, and Dr. Laitman, we connect to each other virtually as much as possible, tighter, closer together, stronger, more inner, until in this virtual form we see our whole lives and the physical form disappears from our senses gradually, not all of it, but gradually, until we connect together virtually, and the physical world suddenly vanishes. Shelley, do you see the transition to virtual means affecting a person's consciousness, altering his mind? In what way? Dr. Laitman, yes, we will feel this world is imaginary. And all these material things, we have no relation to them. It's all just imaginary in us. Yes, it's imagination. And we will feel how this imagination is imaginary. But it's not, you shouldn't write about that. That is clear. Yes, we don't write about that. Noma, ask. Noma, can you give, between friends, let's say, can you give this feeling of sitting next to each other while being together virtually? Dr. Laitman, what's the problem? Noma, how to convey this feeling where it can be that even if someone is physically sitting next to me, we feel a greater distance between us than with someone else in a virtual connection. How to explain this? Dr. Laitman, it all depends on our senses, on how sharp our senses are. Noma, what does it mean? Dr. Laitman, well, I want to feel that you're close, right? That here sits Dudi, and next to Dudi you're sitting, and I can actually see you, feel feel you, and I can see, but I imagine this to myself. There's no problem there. In our inner sight, in our inner vision, this is all possible to establish. Sivan, there's another issue coming up here, because if the education system is switching over to, well, it's becoming virtual, so it requires much more of educators and parents. They could send their children before the parents, and Dr. Laitman, everyone will be educators, the young, the old, the teachers, and the students, everyone will be educators. They will educate themselves and others until we come to a round humanity. Sivan, very nice. So it means that the coronavirus came to help us not be more passive, but rather each one can be an influencer, to be an educator, and not to lay the responsibility on someone else to take care of the children. Dr. Laitman, exactly. Duty. Okay, so guys writing here, what will the parents do if the children remain at home? Because that's the main problem. Dr. Laitman, that you need to stay with the children at home? Duty. Otherwise, we would have switched to a virtual system long ago. Dr. Laitman, no, don't worry. Only a very small portion of humanity needs to go to work. The rest should sit at home, and they'll see much greater gains from that. Duty. What about all kinds of classes that can't be taught virtually? Music, dance, many things require interaction, sports. Where are those? Dr. Laitman, you're welcome to it. Go out your house, go outside and do that. Why do you think you shouldn't? Why is it impossible? Music, sports, painting. What's the problem? Duty. So it's not completely, totally virtual, right? We close ourselves off at home. And Dr. Laitman, no, of course not. First of all, look, 60 or 70% of all industry is unnecessary. It just manufactures garbage that we buy and throw away. Yes? That is clear to us. Including food, right? All kinds of foodstuffs that are made only for a profit, for the profit. So there's no such thing as profit. Gradually, everything shrinks. But now your free time, you'll have much of it. Go ahead, fill it up with all sorts of classes and whatever. Duty. So to return to the previous topic, just to understand, not to elaborate more, well, perhaps as we go on, continue, this imagination, this imaginary world where I think I see you, I see Noma, what is that? What does it feed off of? When does it vanish out? Dr. Laitman, that's how we're built. You see us, but we're within your mind and heart, and you see us as though we are in front of you. But we are in front of you, that's what you see. Baal Sulam writes about this. Duty. How can I feel someone next to me if he's not next to me? By my imagination? Dr. Laitman, what does it mean next to me or not next to me? This is also imagination. 3D imagination. Duty. Where does imagination stop and true reality begin? Dr. Laitman, true reality begins in spirituality. Where you have different measurements, different values in order to receive, in order to bestow, only that. Not according to physical distances, but rather in your will. Duty. What does it mean to feel? Because Norma is not next to me physically, but I feel that she's next to me, right? What, as you said, what turns it into that feeling? What brings about that feeling. Dr. Laitman, it all depends on our senses and the extent you can develop your senses. But it's not these corporeal senses where you want to measure everything according to those. Let's let it go. It's difficult. Dudi, okay, so anyone, anything? No. Okay, so we advance. I want to ask now about general questions we received from people online about different things. General issues. Will the coronavirus accelerate globalization, or will it strengthen the nation state? Dr. Laitman, coronavirus doesn't accelerate globalization. We all belong to one global system, but I don't think it will come about as simply as some people think. Nevertheless, the coronavirus will show us in a multifaceted way how we need to arrange ourselves in the new world. Judy, another question. What do you think about migrating from this high-stress urban life to something more simple out in the country? Dr. Laitman, well, it's according to our needs. If we need to be together more or be far away from each other, it relates to the way we build our offices and factories going forward. I think our lives will take on a much more village-like form. Duty. So you see us moving more to smaller communities, kibbutzim, leaving the cities. Dr. Laitman, yes, kind of settlements. Why should I live in Manhattan? Right? What for? There's a vibrant, living city, lots of entertainment. Dr. Laitman, it won't be that vibrant. You'll see that everything will somehow calm down. We change. These viruses will change us. Duty. And what will be the common denominator in these communities where you say people will go to live? Dr. Laitman, maybe communities will aggregate according to people's characters or their professions, community of musicians or painters, entertainers, and so on. It may be that it will happen that way because humanity won't be tied down with other engagements. It's a bit more according to a person's character. Could be. So, on certain opportunities, you said that living in cities, that's a corrupted form of living. So, Dr. Laitman, what's so good about going into a square space, right? This big house, seeing myself like a bee or a fly there in that place. What's so good about it? And if I'm in a square, if I'm in the kibbutz or the village or Dr. Laitman, then I belong to a community, I belong to nature, and we have a place on the planet where how much do we take up? 2% of the Earth's landmass? All of humanity? Something very tiny. Where's all the rest? Why shouldn't I expand? You have the internet everywhere. You have electricity everywhere. What, my work? My work I can take with me wherever I go. Until the Earth and we start living in such a way where we feel ourselves that way. After that, it completely evaporates from our sensations. It's not there anymore. I didn't understand the connection between the coronavirus and the nation state. How will this affect them? Dr. Laitman, coronavirus will compel us to create new connections. That's it. On the international level as well, we will break through all the boundaries. The main thing is that we'll be able to sustain ourselves in a proper mode of connection. Shelley. So in these new villages or communities, what will be the common denominator according to which people choose their community? Right, it won't be on an economic basis, it'll be an ideological connection. People are similar to me. What? Laitman, no. It's just convenient for people to do it this way. Ultimately, people won't connect according to money, if they can buy an apartment, or some school or factory, but rather it's because it's worthwhile for them according to the nature of the place, the nature of the people. Shelley, and there will be a special spiritual connection forming in those places? Dr. Laitman, for certain, but I don't know what process exactly will happen there, because it will be virtual, corporeal. I don't know. Look, there are things here that are very vague. Why do you need this? Where you're starting to engage in urban society. No, it's just very curious. Where is the world going? No, Laitman, the world is heading in a good direction. Goody. Okay, so I think we've concluded our meeting. Dr. Laitman, very good. So scrutinize all those things that we should be telling people. And don't write everything down, of course. Goody. Yes, whatever is good. Perhaps we can have a village of reporters. Thank you, Av. It's very pleasant. Goodbye.